So many people think because I struggle with my mental health and etc. Because I struggle with my mental health and etc. Many people don't think I'm free or gonna have a free life away from the state of Connecticut and etc. Right? But really, the only thing when I say mental health services, I say mental health services because they're offering me services like any other doctor's appointments and stuff like that. They're offering me services so I could better my mental health and etc. I mean, I don't have to do the socialization groups that they do. I don't really have to do any type of groups or activities that they do. I mean, all I have to really make sure I do, because it's important that I do them like any other doctor's appointment, is make sure I have, meet with my psychiatrist and stuff like that when it comes to my mental health. Meet with the people who, meet with, like, people like the main people for my mental health. I don't have to socialize with anybody or anything. Um, when people say mental health services, everybody probably gets all freaked out and scared. But the thing is, I'm free. I've always been free, although sometimes I don't feel as free, and I sometimes feel dependent on trying to have help or have connect, have assistance from my mental health workers. But everybody prefers that I'm independent. Everybody prefers that I'm independent and stuff like that. I mean, I'm 32. I'm 34. I'm supposed to be independent. I'm 34 years old, so I'm supposed to be independent. I'm supposed to be doing my own thing, which I do. If the weather's nice and I can walk and stuff like that, then yeah, I go out and walk and do my own thing. But if the weather's not nice and stuff like that, sometimes you need a ride from somebody and etc. And it's like, if I can't count on this Go Gear thing, this Go Gear transportation service, then I need to count on, my mental health workers for a ride to get me to point A to point B. Um, and if I don't have either of those, then I'm pretty much stuck and screwed. But I'm a free agent. I'm a free agent. I can come and go as I please. I can eat what I want and etc. The only time that I'm probably not free is when the mental health workers kind of feel that, because I think there's some type of clause or something in paperwork I signed for them that, the only time my mental health workers think I'm not free is when they think I'm violating a code of, like, my safety or something. Then they try to involuntarily take my freedom, for however long or etc. Because of it. Um, it's not easy. It's not easy struggling with your mental health. It's not easy struggling with your mental health and wanting a whole nother life away from the mental health systems and aspects of life, when the system and the aspects of life are still trying to kind of chain you or not try to help you grow and prosper in a way that's going to be beneficial without them. It's like I'm not in a position where I can learn how to be, you know, independent and stuff without the mental health system. I think the mental health system in some cases still wants me to be dependent on them and dependent with them. Although they're trying to tell me to take Go Gear and stuff, so I don't have to be dependent on the mental health programs and stuff like that. So I can be independent. I mean, I go to the grocery store on my own. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a grocery store around the corner, but if I really need to, I mean, granted, it's absolutely atrocious for the budget and it's absolutely atrocious for spending, but it could be a whole lot better. It could be a whole lot better and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't think I'm free. Sometimes after all my struggles in life and all the things I've been through and stuff, because I was involuntarily kind of, like, systematically put in some places involuntarily, that I had to live my life for so many years and stuff like that, because, of family traumas and past hurts and things that, now I'm in a place where I don't have to be involuntarily put anywhere unless they feel it's necessary. But I mean, for the most part, long as there's not a reason for it to be necessary, I can pretty much do what I want to do and be free. Which I sometimes forget. I sometimes forget, and I sometimes always think about, like, well, if I don't have Go Gear and I don't have my mom, then the only other person I can count on is the mental health systems. I must say symptoms, but systems. Mental health systems. Um, but, I'm at that point too. It's like I am free. I mean, I pay my own bills. I control my own money. I can get myself to point A to point B. I can travel. I can go out to a store. I mean, I'm free. I mean, I'm free. As I'm freer than people. Than probably how I was. Growing up as a child when I was involuntarily held captive in a mental. And some other mental health situations. But, and some of that was the 90s, and some of that was really out of my control, and some of that was the lies and the manipulation of my mother, which have happened to scar me because, there were a lot of truths and things not spoken. There were a lot of things not spoken and said that really were going against the grain and going against things that my mother was kind of responsible for. So, some people say I was kind of responsible for it because of my actions as a child, but I was a child, who was the fucking adult at the time? At the time, my mother was. I can't be blamed for the sins and problems of my mother anymore because I'm a 32-year-old adult. And I can pretty much come and go as I please. But I've been in so many systematic aspects of being involuntarily kind of jailed or held up in places that it's like at this point in my life I'm not involuntarily held up anywhere, and I can pretty much come and go as I please. And there's times where I absolutely do that and I absolutely love it, and there's other times where I feel like there's parts of me that are still too independently tied to the system, or feeling like I need to be too independent, too dependently tied to the system and for certain things or etc., that it doesn't work in my favor. I'm trying to be an adult. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to prosper. I'm trying to get out of this whole systematic aspect and mindset, because God knows you don't want to live your whole life connected to a mental health program, especially one that was only dragging you down and almost causing you legal issues and everything else in the first place. But I'm thinking to myself, because everybody hears me talk about a mental health system like I'm not free, or I don't have my adult choices or adult privileges and stuff like that. I mean, I have plenty of adult privileges. I watch adult entertainment. I have I have control of my own money. I can pay my own bills. There's a lot of things I have my own things about that I do. And when I talk about my mental health services, people think, oh, he's just going to be stuck to the mental health system his whole life. And in a way, I kind of am. If you struggle with your mental health system, if you struggle with your mental health symptoms, if you struggle with your mental health symptoms and have a mental illness, then yes, in a way you are going to be tied to always needing a doctor your whole life, or always needing some kind of services where they can provide medical or can provide therapy or something, depending on the situation. I mean, but compared to where I was before, I'm a lot more free. I'm a lot more free. I'm a lot more of an adult. I can do what I want to do and come and go as I please. But when I think of the mental health system and stuff like that, when I think of my mental health stuff, it's like sometimes I'm caught up in this this cycle or this motion or mood where it's like I'm thinking to myself like I need a ride here and there from my workers, or I need this and that, and it's like they want me to be independent. They're trying to push me to be independent by taking this Go Gear thing, which is a kind of an Uber ride service for people with with mental health disabilities and stuff like that. To get you to point A to point B, which I know Go Gear will try to schedule me in for something if they have the time. But I'm independent. I'm independent. I'm doing my own thing. I'm independent. I'm trying to live, breathe, and be happy and be positive. So I'm not trying to sit here and be all caught up like I'm like in the system and my life's going nowhere. But there's times too where I've seen the system basically try to take control of my money if I wasn't budgeting my money properly and stuff like that. Then they'll try to they'll try to maneuver it where they're in more control of the money or have more of an overview of my money. And it's like I'm 32 years old and I got myself out of the aspect of them controlling my money and stuff like that when I was like 23. When I was like 23, I had them out. I had them out of the aspect of them controlling my money. So from 23 to like 30 to 34, that's a long time to have control of your money and be able to do what you need to do. Granted, I'm still struggling trying to have a savings, and everybody, there's people out there always trying. There's a lot of people out there trying to struggle to have a savings and stuff like that. Which is hard. If you don't have a savings account and stuff, sometimes if you're on disability and stuff and you have a hard time, getting, in and out of work and finding an actual job or part-time job to work and stuff like that, then, um, you basically, basically have a hard time paying extra bills, which is the third, which is one of the three things I still need to work on, is like learning how I can pay extra bills, trying to have a savings or some type of backbone so I could pay extra bills, or so I could actually have something in case of emergencies. And sometimes also is my actual spending for the whole month is actually making it, last. But to my eyes, spending is spending. If you're going to have a little bit of spending money to do what you want and enjoy yourself, it's going to go at some point, but you might as well enjoy yourself while you can, and use it wisely. Eventually, it is going to go. It's just a matter of you using it wisely and try to make sure you're using it on things you really want to do. So, I have no complaints over that. But yet, my mental health workers were talking, they didn't necessarily have to say that they were going to take my money. I mean, the whole thing about that is they didn't necessarily have to say that they were going to take my money. It was very much in the tone. It was very much in the tone of how they were addressing me about my money and stuff like that. That it was very much in the tone, especially when I met with my mentor. That in his tone, there was a lot of like aspects of like them almost kind of feeling like I was like very irresponsible in some cases when it comes to money, which some people think I am sometimes irresponsible when it comes to certain areas of my life with money, but so they were kind of very stern in their tone and stuff, making it almost seem like in their tone somewhere that they were actually going to have the underlined thing where they might have me try to, secretly sign over my money to them or something, or, try to open up, because in the past, they've had accounts, my mental health workers have had accounts for other clients and stuff, so the mental health workers were paying their bills and stuff like that through accounts, through the mental health agency and the program and stuff like that. But thing is, I like my bank, I like my independence, I like where I've come from, but see, the thing is, I am free. I mean, it's like I don't want to say I forget that I'm not free, but it's not that I want to say that I'm not free, but when it comes to stuff, it's like I really want to, I want to grow more. I want to grow more for sure, and I don't always want to be tied to the mental health programs, and that's kind of why I say a lot about the other past clients and the past issues, is because they've kind of latched themselves on to other events and things that I've done and stuff like that, and to me they're no longer welcome near me. I mean, I can't stop them from going to a public place, but and doing what they do and wrecking it for me and everybody else. I mean, I can't stop that. I mean, I wish I could, and it gets under my skin that I can't, but it pretty much is like you can't stop people from going to a public place at a public event. So if people want to act a fool and act all shitty and stupid to you, they're going to, or kind of like try to get under your skin and etc. But anyways, I'm trying to do my thing, trying to breathe, trying to just live my life, and I can come and go as I please. I mean, I can go out for a coffee right now if I want to, but I have a coffee in my hand, so I don't need to. But, it's like just a matter of just being able to walk out your door and have the freedom to walk out your door and go to place to place on your own is a wonderful thing, The thing is, too, is this is like every 3 months I deal with something with my stability, because I'm due for something. I have to take something from my mental health like every 3 months. Luckily it lasts now every 3 months, but I have to take care of something for my mental health every 3 months, and like towards the end of like the third month, I'm usually sometimes a lot more moody and a lot more volatile and stuff like that when it comes to things. I'm a lot more moody and volatile and kind of, I kind of have a lot of issues and things and stressors when it comes to like that third month up until I get that thing taken care of for my mental health. So once I get that taken care of at the 3rd month mark, I'm good for another 3 months, and I'm usually pretty happy-go-lucky, but usually right, probably a week or two before, maybe like a month before, it all depends, all depends on the situation. I get kind of rocky, but yeah, it's like any other doctor's appointments, basically, for my mental health. My mental health is basically a doctor's appointments, but yet they have me kind of like doing socialization groups and stuff with them, and want me to try to do more kind of, socialization stuff like that, and more therapeutic groups and stuff. And the thing is, I don't want to do too many groups with the state of Connecticut because I don't want to feel like I'm a fucking, recovery charity case, I don't want to feel like I'm a fucking recovery charity case. I mean, there's things that were working for my recovery when it came to poetry, music, and art, and things like that, and then I was also, I also had a counselor, so I was at least talking my problems out in therapy and stuff like that, plus, meeting with all the other important people that I needed to meet with. I wasn't doing too much of the socialization at one point. I mean, I was at one point, but I told everybody openly again and again how that actually played out and how that did not work in my favor. So, for me now, it's just me. It's just a matter of me being on my own and learning that I am free and I can come and go as I please and I can do what I want. Kind of like with my money. My mom said, you can spend that money on yourself if you don't go out to eat. You can spend that money on yourself for something you need, or you could, do something with it, But I'm choosing now not to go out to eat with the mental health workers and stuff for the holidays. I'm choosing not to go out to eat with them because I don't think it's going to work out anyways. Because Christmas and Christmas Eve is on a weekend, and I know my worker can't come in on a weekend unless he does a Friday, But he might not get the approval to do anything this week because of that. And I heard that Thursday and Friday again are supposed to be possibly another snowstorm or etc. So possibly another snowstorm or etc. for Thursday or Friday. So we're looking at this point now where it almost seems like next weekend is not going to be ideal anyways to really do much, but as long as I can get to the bank and stuff like that, I'll hopefully be able to put my money in there. It'll be $11, worst comes to worst, for me to maybe order something else for myself, maybe a book or something, But I was looking into something. I was looking into something recently for celebrity memorabilia. That's all I'm gonna really say about that. I was looking into something recently for celebrity memorabilia. When it came to certain things, I was looking into something like that, and I had a once in a lifetime opportunity when it came to that. So, I kind of took it. And so I'm kind of excited about that. But for the most part, I'm just chilling and doing my own thing. I'm just living my life. I'm free. I come and go as I please and pay my bills and pretty much can see who I want to see and etc. So I mean, I am an adult. I mean, it's not like, sometimes I don't always feel like an adult. Sometimes I feel like I'm still mentally and emotionally chained to a system that I don't really need to be chained to because I still have freedoms in the way. I mean, within a certain extent, I still have freedoms. I mean, I'm not going to be able to just say I can't meet with a doctor, I can't meet with a counselor. I can say I can't meet with a counselor. I mean, I can deny therapy if I want to, but, some people say I should go to have a counselor to speak to, and that's something I'm working on, trying to get another counselor to speak to after the one I talked to for 15 years up and retired, so I'm at that point now where it's like I am free. I mean, I know I can come and go as I please. My mental health workers are going to be like, "Why did you call us? Why do you keep calling us? It was a nice weekend. Did you go out and walk? Did you go out and get those potatoes like where you wanted to do and go get those potatoes? Did you go out and do this? Did you go out and do that?" So, yeah, I was working on that stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part though, I mean, I'm willing to stay home as far as like, the holidays too, because I have a roast. I have a roast and stuff. And I have stuff like a roast with potatoes and celery and carrots and stuff. A nice beef roast, and I have potatoes and I have onions and stuff. So I'll be living good. I'll be living good when it comes to eating on Christmas Eve, basically there was an extra opportunity to go out to the Chinese buffet or the diner also. Before Christmas or Christmas Eve or around Christmas Eve or so, or or etc., but I'm not going to take it. So I know my mental health worker might be a little bitchy and upset, but he needs to realize that, they're trying to get me to be independent, and I want my independence, but he also doesn't want me to sit here, by myself and isolate. But I mean, obviously, technically they preach about me being independent, but yet they try to do things with groups and stuff, that takes away from the opportunity to show my independence and to be independent, and have an independent experience, Sure, it might be sometimes lonely at times, but there's a lot of growth in sometimes being by yourself and being independent and doing your own thing. So, especially away from the state of Connecticut, too. So, of course, there's all kinds of characters and stuff you socialize with in these groups, and you just don't need that in your life. But just wanted to get that off my chest. I got like 5% on my battery level, so I'm going to end this video. But I am free. I am away from the system. That's how my life is. But sometimes I don't always feel as free. It's just a mindset thing. It's an emotional thing. But really, I am free. So.